Hello everyone, I welcome you in the virtual classroom of business environment. We are discussing our second unit, that is LPG policy, means liberalization, privatization and globalization. Out of these three components, we have completed two components, that are liberalization and privatization, and now we are moving towards the globalization. Let us understand the meaning of globalization first. See, it is very clear from the definition itself what is globalization. When you are reaching to a total globe, then it is known as globalization. You must have heard the word global village. See, what is global village? Now this globe is not considered as a planet, but it is considered as village. Why village? You know how it is easy to move within a village from one place to another place, very much easy, and that is fast also. So the same thing happens in globalization, that we can travel from one country to another country so easily, like we are traveling from one city to another city, like we are traveling from one town to another town. So when this easiness is there, when this speed is there within a planet, then we term it as a globalization. Getting it? Now let us see the definition of globalization. Globalization means speed up of movements. See, movements should be speeded up and exchange all over the planet. See, what is the definition of globalization? Speed up of movements and exchanges all over the planet. This is the simplest definition. What kind of movements and exchange are there, that we will see later on, but as a definition you just remember that globalization means speed up of movements and exchanges from one nation to another nation, from one continent to another continent. Now what kind of movements and exchanges are there? The movement of human beings. See, what globalization says, that there should be free movement of human beings from one country to another country. See, in past, what happened, that the people are not traveling that much as compared to nowadays. Why? Because there were so many restrictions, and the rules and regulations of each country were quite different. No one was allowing anyone to enter in their country. But after globalization, what happens, that people are traveling from one country to another country for so many purposes, like for having holidays and for earning purpose as well. Then free movement of goods and services. Generally, what happened, whatever kind of goods and services are produced in one country, that was consumed in that country only. But now, because of globalization, any goods and services which is produced in any country now can be sold in every country of this globe. Why? Because of globalization. Whatever the goods, whether it is food or whether it is a durable goods, if it is existing in one of the nation, then it will be definitely existing in the another corner of the same globe in another nation. Why? Because of globalization. Then there should be a free movement of capital. See, you know that there are three categories of countries, that is developed country, developing country and underdeveloped country. And developed countries are considered as a rich country, and it is the rich country who are having rich entrepreneurs. And earlier it was the scenario that rich entrepreneurs are investing capital in their country and they're doing the business. So because of that reason, rich country becomes richer and richest, and poor country remains poor only. But now, because of globalization, there is a chance that people can invest in another country as well. Now rich countries entrepreneurs are investing in developing country and underdeveloped countries because of globalization. Then there should be free movement of technologies. Yes, see, this is the component that we have discussed earlier, that are the human beings, goods and services and capital. And now we are talking about the free movement of technology. See, it is the technology on the basis of which the development of any nation happens. It is because of technology only that development of globe also happens. If technology cannot be transferred from one country to another country, then the other countries will not be benefited with the technologies. See, generally, which countries are famous for the technological inventions? USA is there, European countries, Germany is there, then Japan is there. And today we are using 4G technology in India that is invented somewhere else in other country, but now we are using it with too much easiness, and that is a luxury for our country. Why? Because there is a free movement of technology from one nation to another nation. Then free movement of culture and practices. See, this is not the culture and practices are not moving on their own, but as human beings are moving from one nation to another nation, the culture and practices also moves from one nation to another nations. See how it is possible. Human beings are not only human beings, but they are the set of perceptions, belief, culture and tradition. When Indian is traveling, when Indians are migrating to the USA, they will not become the American citizen, they will remain Indian only. No doubt if they get citizenship, they will be considered as American citizen, but they will be Indian only in their practices, in their culture and in their tradition. So when people are moving within a globe, their practices and their religion and their tradition also moves from one nation to another nation. So these are the components of globalization, that there should be free movement of human beings, goods and services, capital, technologies or cultural practices all over the planet. Then it is written here, one of the effects of globalization is that it promotes and increases interactions between different regions and population around the globe. See, it is because of globalization that there is a promotion and increase in the interactions. Earlier, the population of globe were quite different from each other. Many populations, the population of many countries were not knowing the population of the other nations. Like the western people are totally unaware of the eastern people. No interactions were there, not only because of the lack of traveling means, but also because the countries were also closed. No one was allowing to transfer travel from one country to other country easily. But now, just because of globalization, there is a free movement. All nations are considered as one nation, so interaction between the people also increases. Now you can at any point of time interact with your relatives who is sitting in America at the same point of time, irrespective of the fact that whether there is a night or day. If you are video calling them, it will be possible that you can have interaction with your friends and relatives who are sitting quite far from you. So this is just because of globalization. Now let us see the four parameters of globalization. See, these are the component that we have discussed in this definition, but now let us discuss in detail these parameters. First one, reduction of trade barriers to permit free flow of goods and services across the national frontiers. Free flow of goods and services that we have seen in the definition. See how a free flow of goods and services happens when we are reducing the trade barriers. Now, what are the trade barriers? Trade barriers simply means any kind of hurdles created by government so that the foreign industrialists cannot do business in their country. See what kind of trade barriers are there. First is quota system. By limiting the number of unit to be imported, you are creating hurdle in a foreign business, in a international business. Then another is import duty. Just by increasing a tax on import, you are creating hurdle that the goods and services of foreign countries cannot be sellable in our country. So these are the basic examples of trade barriers that are quota and import duty that were in existence before globalization. So what a country need to do for adoption of globalization? They need to remove the import duty and quota to have free flow of goods and services. Then creation of environment in which free flow of capital can take place. Say this is the free flow of capital, and for that we need to create an environment. See what kind of environment is that. This we will see in detail at the time of steps towards globalization, but till now you just remember that at least government should give freedom to the foreign investors to invest in our countries. When any person can invest in any country's share market, then we can term it as a free flow of capital from one nation to another nation. Then creation of environment permitting free flow of technology among the nation states. Free flow of technology, and for movement of technology we need to create environment for this. Whatever the technologies are invented in any country, generally it is a developed country, but we should have a very good relation with every country so that they can give us benefit of the invented technologies in their country. Then creation of an environment in which free movement of labor take place. See, this is the free movement of human beings take place in different countries of world. Earlier what happened that people are not moving, so that the population of poor country remain poor and the population of rich country becomes rich and richer. So to remove these disparities, what now people are doing for earning purpose also, people are migrating to the developed nations, and for holiday purpose also they are traveling to the so many countries. So we need to create that kind of environment. There should be a very loose visa policy to have a free movement of human beings from one country to another country. So these are the four parameters of globalization. There should be free flow of goods and services, means free movement of goods and services, then free flow of capital, then free flow of technology, and free flow of labor. These are the four components. If they are moving freely, then we can say that a particular country has adopted globalization. Now, let us discuss the steps towards globalization. What India has done to adopt globalization. But let me give a brief idea about the history that we have discussed in the initial part of this chapter, that why there is a need to adopt globalization for India, because we need to take loan from IMF. Our foreign exchange reserve was in a scarce manner. We have only foreign exchange reserve to meet up the import of only 2 weeks. So just to get loan from the IMF, we have adopted the policy that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. We have also seen the steps that we have taken to adopt liberalization and privatization. Now let us see what steps Indian government has taken, had taken rather, to adopt globalization. The first step is exchange rate adjustment and rupee convertibility. The first step itself includes two things. The first is exchange rate adjustment, and the second step is rupee convertibility. Now let us understand one by one. In 1991, India made its currency fully convertible, that is to say, allow it to determine its own exchange rate in international market without official intervention. See, what is full convertibility and what had happened before globalization, before 1991? If we talk specifically about India, then Indian currency's value in context of any currency, be it a American dollar or be it as Australian dollar or be it a Japanese yen or be it uh, European currency. It was the Indian government who was deciding the value of Indian rupee in context of any foreign currency. If Indian government says that 1 rupee is equal to $50, then you need to accept it. If Indian government says that 1 rupee is equal to $25, then you need to accept it. But now this is not the scenario. Now the price of any currency, now the value of our rupee is decided freely in an open market on the basis of free flow of free movement of demand and supply of rupee. So earlier the value of rupee was decided by government, but now the value of rupee is decided by market. So this is known as full convertibility. There was no convertibility at the time of government's decision, but now we are having full convertibility. That is to say, allowed it to determine its own exchange rate in international market without official intervention. What do you mean by official intervention? Means government will not interfere in decision of the rupee value. Now the rupee value is decided freely in a market. $1 is equal 1 rupee is equal to $70 or $75. Even a day, within a day, there is a fluctuation in a exchange rate. Why? Because it is freely decided on the basis of demand and supply of dollar and rupee. So earlier it was decided by government, means with official intervention, but now it is decided without official intervention. Now government is not interfering in decision of rupee value. Then IMF insisted on 13% real devaluation. Now we will discuss about exchange rate adjustment. What we have done to adjust our exchange rate. And first of all, I would say that why we are considering the suggestion of IMF, because we were to take loan from the IMF in 1991 because of our foreign exchange scarcity. So as a condition, at that time also I told you that IMF was giving us bailout loan. What is bailout loan? Means there is no need to repay it back if your conditions are not good. So in bailout loan, repayment is not compulsory, but to obey the rules and regulation, to obey the condition is compulsory. So as a part of bailout loan, IMF told us to do 13% real devaluation in Indian currency, because IMF was of belief that Indian government was keeping the rupee value unduly high. So due to that reason, they told that you reduce the value of rupee by 13%. 13%, again, that is a real devaluation. This is not the exact devaluation but a real devaluation. Then government fixed the target rate of inflation, that is 9%. After suggestion of IMF, the government need to check how much is the rate of inflation in a Indian economy. At that time the inflation was 9%. So nominal devaluation, what exact devaluation has happened in Indian economy, that is 22%. Why government has reduced the rupee value by 22%? Because 13% was suggested by IMF and 9% was the inflation. So 13 plus 9 is 22. And due to that reason, Indian government has reduced the rupee value by 22%. Then FM means finance minister did this in two-phased manner on 1st July 1991 and 3rd July 1991. See, to reduce the value of rupee by 22% is not child's play. So many things will be affected. So not to give a major stroke in a market, our finance minister did the same devaluation in a phased manner. Partial devaluation was done in first attempt and second partial devaluation was done in a second attempt. So first devaluation was done on 1st July and second devaluation was done on a 3rd July. And after this two devaluation, the total devaluation Indian government had done was 22 percentage. So by this, first condition laid down by IMF for grant was made. Why we reduced our currency by 22%? Because IMF has laid down this condition, and when we have reduced our currency's value, it means we have met with the one of the condition of IMF. So this is all about the exchange rate adjustment, and now we will discuss about rupee convertibility. Government of India progressively moved forward towards full convertibility. Budget of 1992-93 introduced dual exchange rate system implying partial convertibility of rupee. See, to have full convertibility is not easy task. You know what had happened in past? The rupees value were decided by government, and now we are saying that rupees value will be decided by markets. This is a biggest move, we can say. It cannot be done all of a sudden. So what government has done? Government has done it in a partial manner. In first year, means in 1992, after adoption of LPG policy in 1991, the first budget introduced in 1992-3, government had adopted partial convertibility of rupee. What is partial convertibility? Means if you want to convert 100 rupee, then 50 rupees price will be decided by government and 50 rupees price will be decided by market. So this is a partial convertibility of rupee. Then budget of 1993-94 means the second year. The first year was 1992-3 and the second year was 1993-94. Budget of 1993-94 introduced full convertibility, means now the value of rupee is fully decided by market. No government interventions are there. Were there. On August 19, 1994, India achieved full convertibility. Full convertibility on current account can be defined as freedom to buy or sell foreign exchange. See, what is full convertibility? The rupees value will be decided by market, and in whatever amount you want to purchase or sell the foreign exchange, you can. So total freedom was given to the population of the globe, that in whatever amount they want to convert the rupee in any foreign exchange, they can do it. So for what kind of transaction? Firstly, the freedoms were given. First freedom was for all payments due in connection with the foreign trade. Why? Because as a globalization, first parameter we have seen that there should be free movement of goods and services. When you are transferring goods and services, means you are doing the business activity with another nation. So to easy to have the easy globalization, it is compulsory to give the freedom for the business activity to convert rupee in any foreign currency. Then secondly, payment dues as interest on loan. If we need to pay interest to the foreigner, or if we are earning interest from the foreigner, then the same amount can be transferable. Then payments of moderate amount of amortization of loan or for depreciation. See, if anyone has purchased asset in any country, then definitely asset has to face the amortization or the depreciation. Then whatever the loss were there because of amortization and depreciation, that need to repay in a convertible currency. Then moderate remittances for family living expenses. See, what is remittances? What is moderate remittances? You know that many of the Indians migrate to the developed countries for the sake of earning purpose. So many people went to the UAE country, Dubai, Bahrain is there, then European countries like England, France is there, and so many people are going to America for earning purpose because they are not finding the enough job opportunity in India, maybe. So when they are traveling, it is like they are only the breadwinner, the person who is earning, they are migrating and their family lives still in India. So they need to send money here for their family living expenses. So whatever the money they are sending us from that country to here, that is known as moderate remittances for family living expenses. Whatever amount you are sending, it is freely convertible in our currency. So this is all about the first step, that is exchange rate adjustment and rupee convertibility. And now we will see the second step, that is import liberalization. See, every country's wish is to improve export, and definitely there will be no hurdles in export. Every country will promote export, but what they are simultaneously doing, they are reducing or restricting import. See, if this is the situation, reducing import and increasing export, then we can term it as a partial globalization. You need to sell to other countries, but you don't want to purchase from other countries. Then how can there will be a relation, very good relation in globalization? Not at all. You just remember that if you want to sell to other country and you are not ready to purchase from the same country, will they allow you to do selling in their country? Not at all. Why they will purchase from you if you are not purchasing from them? So import and export go hand in hand. If you don't allow import, other countries will also not allow import, which will be termed as your export. Yes or no? So to do export, you need to do import first. And before globalization, there were too much restriction on import in India. And as a step of globalization, we need to lose our import restriction, and that is known as import liberalization. So what is written here? The World Bank had advocated for redesigning of trade policy so that there is only one negative list for import. See, if there is any negative list, then there must be some positive list. Let us discuss about the scenario before globalization. What was that? Government was issuing a list. The goods and services which are listed in that list were allowed to import, and all other things they are exclusively abandoned to have, they are exclusively restricted to have import. Means how many goods and services you can list it out in globe? There are n number of things, infinite goods and services are there, you cannot list it out. So positive list is having a narrow scope. You can include 25 items, you can include 100 items or 200 items or maybe 1000, but then also this is a narrow list. If you are including 1000 items, it would mean that you are giving permission for import of only 1000 items. On another side, it implicitly means that you are restricting 1 crore items are there. Oh, so many items are there, we cannot number it out. So positive list is having a narrow approach. So what IMF suggested, to adopt negative list. Instead of declaring what to import, we should say what not to import. If you include 100 things, means only 100 things cannot be imported, rest of the things can be imported. So this is a broader scope. In positive list we are having a narrow scope for import, and in negative list we are having a broad scope for import. So what is the idea of negative list? That what howsoever enhancing your negative list, there is a still freedom to import so many items in your country. Then lowering of import tariffs and all goods and free entry to capital goods, intermediate goods, raw materials and consumer goods into Indian economy. All in all, that any kind of goods and services you can import in Indian economy by lowering of import tariff. Import tariff means import duty. See, in the table drawn here, I have given you the figure of import duty. These are the figure from 1993 to 1997. See, that is written here. On remaining item, there was a face duty reduction from 1993 to 97. As a part of import liberalization, government had to reduce the import duty. You know what was the import duty before 1991? It was 255 percentage. It means if any item's price is 100 rupees, then over 100 rupee you need to pay the import duty 255. So the price of that imported good will be 355. You may be having question that why government was charging too much duty on import. To charge 100% is also an invalid, and that is also an illogical thing. And here we are charging more than 200%. See how much the price will increase of imported goods. But that was the idea of government. By imposing the highest import duty, price of imported goods will increase and it will not be affordable to the Indian people. So automatically import will be reduced because of the non affordability of the Indian population. So government need not to put any kind of restriction on import. We can say this is the indirect restriction, indirect hurdle created by Indian government to reduce import. But IMF had given opinion that you need to reduce your import duty. So when import duty will be reduced, then the price of the imported goods will also reduce. If price reduces, demand will increase, and by that way import will increase. So Indian government has reduced this import duty in a phased manner from 1993 to 1997. In 4 years they have done reduction like this. From 255 it was reduced to 155, then it reduced to 110, then it reduced to 85%, then it reduced to 65%, and then it reduced to 50%, and now there is only 40% import duty on the import in India. So this 40% is a justifiable import duty that at least government need to earn from the imports. So this is a justifiable figure. There is nothing wrong in a 40%. And again, it has to be remembered that 40% is not a rigid figure that all the imports are charged at 40%. Government is having their own slab. The import duty may vary from 1 to a bitly from 40%, then may be lesser than this and then may be more than this, but on an average we can say that in India we are having 40% import duty. Now this is all about import liberalization. Let us discuss opening up for foreign capital. Means Indian government has opened up the Indian economy for foreign capital. See, at the time of discussing these four parameters, I have told you that we will discuss in detail this creation of environment in which free flow of capital can take place. This is discussed in detail in this step, that is opening up of Indian economy for foreign capital. Because of this step, there is a free movement of capital from one nation to another nation. Government of India has thrown open doors for FDI to foreign investors by offering various facility and incentive to foreign investors and non-resident Indians. See, first of all, you need to know the meaning of FDI. What is FDI? FDI simply means foreign direct investment, means foreigner need to do a direct investment here, means they had to start their business here. Say for example, if multinational companies want to do business in India, then they need to purchase land over here, they need to purchase machinery here, they will give employment here. So by that way they are doing investment, but this is a direct investment. They are directly coming here, they are directly purchasing the resources of our nation. So it will be known as direct investment. Government has given permission for the direct investment, and due to that reason the multinational companies are coming in India for doing business activities. In 1991, government has announced permission for automatic route as following. First of all, you just remember the meaning of automatic route. What is automatic route? You are getting permission to invest in India automatically. That is automatic route. Means you need not to take permission of government. foreigners directly invest in India, that is the automatic route. Foreigners first of all take permission of government, then invest in India, then it becomes indirect route, that is via government. When they are directly uh, investing in India, then it is known as direct route, and when they are taking permission of government, it becomes indirect route. Definitely, there is a difficulty in indirect route because they may get permission of government, may not get, and there is a lot many procedures in taking permission of government. So, due to this permission procedural tasks, one may abandon to invest in India. So, because of that lengthy procedures and the time-consuming activities, government has given permission for the automatic route, means no one is needed permission of Indian government. If they need to do business over here, they can. And how government has given permission, that is depicted in this table, that number of companies and foreign equity. See, when I talk about the foreign direct investment, I told you that you need to purchase land over here, you need to hire machineries and the like. Indirectly you are investing for business purpose. And when and how a business is investing, from capital only, from its capital. And what is the capital of any business houses? That is equity. So what a government has given permission, that a foreigner can be a partner, foreign company can be a partner of Indian company up to 74% or 51% depending on a category. So that is what written here. In 9 companies, government has given the permission that foreigner can invest up to 74% of the equity, means 26% that should be still participation of Indian company. In 3 companies, government has given permission for 50%. If you are investing up to 50%, there is no need to take permission of government. But if you are violating the limit, you means if you want to go upper than the limit, then there is a requirement of taking permission. Then in 13 company, government has given permission for 51%. Then it was extended that more 35 companies were given permission for 51 percentage. So when you combine this 13 company and 35 company, it becomes 48 companies. Means in India total 48 companies are there, in which foreign capital investment is allowable up to 51 percentage. In 3 companies, foreign investment is allowable up to 50%, and in 9 companies, foreign investment is allowable at 74 percentage. So this is all about FDI. Now let us see about FII. FII have been allowed to invest in Indian capital market subject to registration with SBI. See, what is FII? FII simply means foreign institutional investors. FDI is termed as a direct investment and FII can be termed as indirect investment. Indirect investment simply means when you are purchasing the securities of any company, of Indian company, means you are doing indirect investment. Here you are not purchasing the equity shares, rather you are purchasing the debentures and bonds and other securities, short term, maybe commercial papers are there or any other securities issued by the companies. And when the foreign people are purchasing these securities, then this is known as foreign institutional investors. So any person can purchase the shares and debentures of Indian company, subject that they have to be registered with SEBI, that is Securities Exchange Board of India. There is no need to take permission from government, but there is a requirement to have a registration with SEBI. So this is all about the steps that Indian government has taken to adopt globalization in Indian economy. From next lecture, we will discuss the effects of globalization on Indian economy. Up till now, let us skip up to it.